What's up, BIT? Today we're making something that has a strong and clear emphasis, visual emphasis. So what I want you to do is I want you to go to the internet first, find a picture of something colorful. And I found a picture of Michael Jordan. I found this red of his jersey is super colorful, and I think it'll look awesome. What I'm going to do is I'm going to make everything black and white except for maybe like the rim of the basketball hoop and him. Everything else will be black and white, so it'll be emphasized. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to find this picture. I'm going to right click on it and I'm going to copy that image. You can also drag it in to a new document. We're going to make a new document. The document is going to be in inches. My image was taller than it was wide, so I'm going to do a 10. And, 10 by 8 width. So 8 by 10 or 10 by 8, depending on whether you want it tall or more like laying down, hot dog or hamburger style. 72 resolution is fine for me, so I'm going to hit create. And I'm going to bring that picture in. The picture is pretty big, so I got to kind of zoom out. I can use this free transform button here, or go to edit at the very tippy top of my screen and go to free transform, or go to use key command T, and that'll allow you to shrink or stretch depending on what you need. The other thing that might happen is you might have a little extra space. See, I've got this extra white space, and for that I would just use the crop tool here and move that in slightly and just hit return or hit the check mark that shows up to enter that. Okay, so finally we have the image, the right size and everything. Now we just need to make selections. So using selections to select Michael Jordan and say like if I want to do the basketball hoop, I have to select those areas and then kind of flip the selection outside of that selection so I can make everything black and white except for what the object is. So what I'm going to do is there's these nice convenient tools that show up here, and it does say select subject. So I'm going to click on that. It does a pretty good job of selecting Michael Jordan, but you'll notice like for a lot of your images it's going to select a little too much or maybe not quite enough. Maybe part of your object gets kind of cut off because it gets a little bit confused. I can see there's an area in between his legs here. There's this, it's selected too much here. So some things that didn't really work so great. But I wanted to show you the point of this lesson is so I can show you this. Grabbing a different selection tool now. I'm grabbing the lasso tool because there's still, this selection is still there. It's not going away. I'm just hitting on lasso tool, and let me zoom in a little bit, command plus to zoom in just a little bit. See, like right here, it selected I started selecting someone in the audience instead of the shoe, so a little too much there. With the lasso tool selected, I can hold down Option on my keyboard, and I can circle what I don't want. Say I don't want this, so I lasso that, holding down Option, and then when I let go, it gets rid of that area of the selection. Whereas here, it didn't get enough. I need this selected, or no, it's still the same thing. It's too much selected. So I'm holding down Option, and I'm just circling what I don't want, and then there it goes. Let's say on the flip side that let's say it didn't select an area of your photo, right? So, oh man, it didn't select the whole thing. It's got missing parts. You can hold Shift with the lasso tool and circle what you do want. I want to add this to the selection. So you can add things by holding Shift. You can circle what you want and it adds it to what you already have. Or you can hold down Option and circle if it does too much and you want to get rid of something. Like, see, what's this bump on his knee here? Holding Option, you'll see the little minus, and I'll just circle that area and it will get rid of that from my selection. Same thing down here. It selected a bunch of random stuff down here. I'm holding Option and just circling all of that because I don't want it. And then it goes away. So the selection now has been made. If I wanted to add a little selection to the rim of the basketball hoop, let's say, I don't want to get rid. I still want Michael Jordan selected, but I want to also select this orange right here. So I'm going to add it by holding Shift and using some kind of a selection tool. I'm using the lasso tool right now. We'll just do kind of a rough selection. And I could go in here and I can fine tune the selection as much as I want to. Eventually I'm going to have everything that I want selected and zoom out and take a look. Everything looks really great. If I was to go to the very top of my screen where it says image and go to image adjustments black and white, it'll make him black and white, and that's not what I wanted. That is the opposite of what I want, so I'm going to hit cancel. I'm going to go up to the very tippy top of my screen way up here, and gosh, I wish I could get it to be in the camera view, but way up here at the top of the screen, and you're going to have the option to select, and in that option select, you have this option called inverse. So I'm going to inverse that. That's going to take your selection and flip it to outside of your selection. And from there, I can go to image adjustment, black and white. And that's going to make everything else black and white. So, selections, hitting select, inversing the selection, and then image adjustment, black and white. Makes everything else black and white. These are just for editing how the background turns into black and white. You can adjust the colors, like the gray, how colors are transforming into grayscale. So you can play around with all that stuff, and then hit OK. And now you've got this image where it's extremely emphasized because the background is black and white and your subject remains in color. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to export this as a PNG and turn it in for credit. Good job. See you in class.